Thanks, Casey. So I'm naturally very loud, so if someone in the audience I trust you, you'll be like, this is too loud. Dear readers, dear fortune seekers, what is it that gets me up at 4 o'clock in the morning with a cat named Dirt asleep on my lap, and the rest of the world just as oblivious, with all the room on the blank page for the problems that fall in the margins, for dealing with the debris that falls out whenever we try to make the world we are living in the world we choose to live in, rather than the world that simply is? What gets me up is I believe these worlds are possible, and I want to inspire my readers to make their own worlds too. In the world I'm imagining, Arachne donates her web, grasshoppers leap like rain, a blue bullet decomposes, clouds swoon, and we take a further step inside that light without influence or etiquette other than this green hunger. In the world I'm imagining, God makes frantic music inside icebergs and is so poised to bang. In the world I'm imagining, oneself is not the way to live. In the world I'm imagining, we just go away from those divisive perspectives and start to look at the situation from our new view of nature. See if you can identify yourself. If you can see the beauty that was there all along despite our being there. This may be where you begin making decisions that matter. In the world I'm imagining, the basic project of sentient beings is to grow the world. Sometimes I call the poems that come of these impulses science fiction, other times fairy tales. I always call them love poems. These are genres in which, like Midas's Golden Touch or Frankenstein's Electric Bolt, a simple wish conjures up a reality that was all along potential. Did I really say such things? I might have. I mean, of course, that in these poems we are bewildered, run wild, dwell like Robin Hood, out loud, and at home. Dear readers, dear fortune seekers, I invite you to enjoy. I invite you to experience these poems like you would an opera in a foreign language or a modern dance, which means you don't have to listen to all the words. You don't really even have to pay attention. I don't care. Just want you to experience and enjoy this moment and turn on your fairy tale brain. It's good for you. It's like down dog. Stay this moment, the autopsy lyrics by Carr. Act 1, very like a whale, in which it is summer and we are on the illusion of vacation. When Achilles traced a heart in the dirt that is my bed, I worked just fine. It's a purple dream with a sea to match it, or a Christian maze which, as you know, has no dead ends. I don't want the devil says to say that much about LaBelle. You all know her in different ways. What are you sorry about? Where's your trumpet and your tiny saint? What are things like underneath what you say they are? In the story I tell myself at 3 or 4 in the morning, there are 3 people and none of us have histories. Where's the logic there? You might ask that. I never would, not anymore. As you wish, LaBelle says, and Sans Mercy draws, a dramatic silhouette of a dead frog, a liver which has been distorted by corsets to become shaped like a figure 8, beautiful boys playing in the edges of an Italian composition. Morning call. I follow. Let me die, because it isn't the first time I've had 4 parts of a mind. Achilles wants to get drunk, dance, drive around, fuck. Against the full moon belly, he moves his toes, his teeth. I shall, Achilles says, have my music for nothing. However it began, it ended like that. Achilles vows to be different and never at the mercy of a woman. Never mind. What we still have in common is we used to be our best selves, which is why LaBelle hugs an imposing mannequin, who leaves a couple of trees by the filling station. Stroll out of play, she says, and leave life smooth. Who, she says, are you anyway? What do you want to be? But if you were honest, or would at least bump into the limits of your honesty, you know you should give it up. Presumably, you know exactly how the affair will end from the moment it begins. You just don't care. Don't, the devil says, be afraid. The song of our sin is so pure we can drink it. There the devil says it is. Everything the devil says goes. Achilles is working very hard and not thinking about how everything goes. The girl with the beautiful eyes comes. The girl with the beautiful eyes goes. My dress extinguishes me. August opens its bright palm and sans mercy. She pushes her stroller out of it. In which I am left thinking about my stomach, in which a small gold eternally gasping fawn and the instantaneous sunset, lovely on a white pickup, folds away the voices. Me too, I forgive you, thank you. On the third day, there is no before and no after, no pain done unto others, and none, paradoxically, done unto myself. We thought of our souls whenever we cupped, because that is when we saw them, our souls. Blue, or was it orange? They were tethered like a balloon, somewhere just below the sun clipping its skin. Act 2, the hare, the Goth, and the canary, in which Achilles imagines he has answered the question simply by raising it. It is the most extraordinary substitution. Sans mercy, La Belle draws a ship too late to save the drowning witch. The devil says, look. No bird says, see. The devil says, guess who? The world over. The part that loved, the part that was mortal, is already dead. And soon, something more beautiful, something more true, a beautiful girl whose feathers are obscured by the fall of the beautiful film strip of your sins. Which is why it is the eyes of August and the impeccable lions, they don't weep. Fail, Achilles says, I can't. Fail, Achilles says, I never. When the god was some unknown bright boy who clearly knew a hawk, his method of knowing goes something like this bucket. This is history. You are the final hope of Greece. You are rapidly becoming the brightest object in the hot sky. What do you hear? What do you hear and see in the Sunday watercolor? For torn up no birds, and in this evolution, let me tell you about mercy. It begins like this, I didn't intend. The wrecked moon hauling in another Friday night on the television screen, La Belle in a white dress on a gorgeous BMW motorbike, expressionless around your torso, like a makeshift cross, your cock straining to forget the blue yolk between her thighs, her immaculate breast. She is there to be had. Lovesick with a mouthful of chicken bones, Achilles sits cross-legged with a murderer, singing as they die on feathers. I don't believe in anything, he says, but I'm sure I've sinned. Let's say La Belle, who with the tenderness of volcanoes will be the heart of so many men, slaughters herself in the sheets. The rented god flounders in all directions, away from yourself. I work the guilt in, hard and soft until my heart it flips like a tiger. Who the hell she is and where are you? Now it's a new day. 2 quotas and a diamond certificate full of promises he can't keep or is choosing not to be able. There is no bird in the theatrical sky. Despite its bruises, you stand on 4 legs, with the words or blonde screams falling down around your ankles. There must be some world where it doesn't happen like this. There must be some world, sidelong, sideways, a lioness amongst the thorn stalks. The lubricated moon, it shines so, where the whole of it comes right. Like a knife that bears the 2 of them across the sea. Every love affair has a tense. It must take place in time. But there are ways to elide these lies. Sometimes Achilles, he caught the knife edge of it. A no bird that had disappeared down the long slide of her throat that sans mercy she had madly swallowed to spare him, and he would stare at her. Who are, she says anyway, what do you want to be? To be continued. Thank you. So I like to call that my pretty little book of erotic poems. So you should buy it. How many people have a pretty little book of erotic poems, really? So this is an excerpt from the book that's coming out in next May of the Shipboat Superlatives from Horseless, which is awesome, and I'm very excited about this. So this is chapter 3 from a limited edition chapbook of the same title, which is now out of print. So you have to. So chapter 3, Amateurs. Rot to the bottom soil of true. Chickens and dogs enter milky graveyards. A pine tree bounces off a yellow cloud. A weather balloon mounts a lighthouse. An elegant man in a black suit goes out, marking silhouettes. Telephones carry words underwater, dreaming. A tendon falls still curled about the other questions. The joint of the bone, a dotted line. In their grease-sodden buns, burgers hold slightly over our thumbs. We grow misty-eyed, nostalgic. The wet alphabet trembles in our spine. What we ate, who we ate, and how we prevailed. Beside a telephone receiver. Mysterious birds soon to appear on postage stamps, crane and pier and crane. The hero reclines in familiar quotation. The seed flowers with salt, then expires. We discover radium, we dance the swan queen, we make incense from the bones of saints. Suburbanites most strict grass. The sidewalk seems broken, a bone-white scar. Morality flaps, uninstructed, empty-handed, with Milky Way markings, and very close to diamond. Like a goldfish in a glad bag. Already, the sky is drowning in its own translucent metaphor. Gravity is endlessly in ambush. Pronouns expand like flesh to the emptiness of atoms. Rain falls in sheets, blazing a red wheelbarrow just for the hell of it. The first and last men breed jaguars and gamma rays. A woman sitting in an orange tree kills it to the ground. In her intelligent fingertips, an elegant cigarette exults. Telephones ring over navy blue seas. Automobiles howl, heredity forms in a raindrop, wavering in dark tongues of satellite and spacecraft. The world. In the bone margin. Gentle as untended lawn, slender and erotic dinosaurs. Fell calves bewildered in the open air. The greyhound pursued to static. Her thin and scarcely believable arms. Fishy sounds from sherbet strollers. In the flaming liturgical distance, souvenir flowers, beer cans, propeller wings, clipped feathers, tears. Railroads part like children. A suicide swaggers in the garden plot. Breaking this fall itself, falling while breaking. Here, shake. Like a patient pink to orange in the failing, there is one world and she approaches it via approximation. And Eve God did not intend. More, she begs, of the less desperately alive. The mammoths, she tells herself, ate marigolds. The tongues of the birds are free of the past. At first you are nothing, not even lonely. Then the light came to contain numbers. Men in transit yawn, swim. Cumulously complex molecules of freon exhaust, inarticulate, slurred fireflies, the Frito-Lay factory gorgeous at sunset. A spoon scrapes the back of the universe. She looks into the mirror, there are her lips, eyes, mind. Like a suitcase thrown open, a pop anthem between her teeth like meat. There was, we decided, no heaven. Cut fruit glows in glass bowls, a house cat flickers, flexible and majestic like a glacier or a saint. Clouds mixed in with some solar systems. ruby goblets of taillight. We wanted to live in hypothesis, surrounded by parentheses, sullen mermaids, angels washing their underwear, sea rising, trees singing as they die in feathers. The body held just as you see it. Up the shin bone superlatives. Fruit tree and stone mermaid, gunshots, islands of manicure, a string of sparrows at the church of the god of the prophecy. Two lunatic Indians on a drowned log play frisbee, brown grasses sing. A woman in a business suit drinks half wine, half water on a patch of neat lawn and flagpole. She's wishing for the impossible. She's urgent, being ourselves. And the night that choruses, you are listening to wolves or loons, or forlorn, drinking Coca-Cola in leather seats. Enormous electric roses disappear in muscle and speech. It is like entering the refrain of a Christmas poem. Angels wish on poultry bones, falling stars, birthday candles. Two gigantic petrified trees make a hopeful umlaut. Memory screams on idiot yellow flowers, slice the frames of window, an unfinished bird cry, a for sale sign in red. I mean, she is sweet white and he is so coy. Shame. Blouse of subsequently. That's what we'll be. You can leave your mark, she thinks, if you leave, tying the knot in a fishing line or throwing zeros around like crazy gods, making frantic music and fight icebergs, trapped in nostalgia and rewind in the left-hand corner, dissolving in inebriated cumulus, the dead flowers someone must have hurled. Was it for some kind of isosceles catapult high chair birdcage?